Bring in Nicole Miller-Reagan, senior research analyst with Piper Sandler. She has an overweight on the stock with a $2,000 price target. Nicole, if you look by almost any measure, this was a very, very strong quarter. More than 130% growth in digital. They opened more than 40 stores. I mean, there's not a lot not to like, and yet the price is barely moving after hours, which raises the question about whether you can still make money in this stock, given a quarter like this, and it barely moves because so much is already factored in.
Yeah, it's a fairly decent high expectation story, maybe not on the numbers themselves, but on the longer term objectives. So I think what you see is each quarter they hit those numbers, they meet the print, as expected, but then you have to come back to take a deep breath and pause and revisit what's the long-term thesis again.
Nicole, in terms of the report we just saw, what stood out in terms of the hits and misses and your take on the share price reaction?
Yeah, I think the hits are the digital mix growing, and that's important because that feeds into the value, of a customer, like customer lifetime value, paired against strong unit level economics. So there's 21 million loyalty members now, and that relationship is really valuable. It's more valuable than a core customer. And then development. Chipotle will be the dominant large cap restaurant growth stock. Of course, the offset here is waiting for that store level margin algorithm to revenues to kick back in and be what it used to be.
What about pricing? The company said that margins improved, and they attributed it in part to higher menu prices, which I guess they were able to pass through. What's going on with fast food prices in general and specifically for Chipotle, and how are they balancing the higher costs of commodities and food?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, a really good point. They're being very intelligent and very strategic about price. So they're using a third party, and it's a fairly sophisticated model, if you will. And the algorithm tells them, there's certain places to take price on a menu that is pretty sparse, if you will. For example, they're doing this in the delivery channel. If you go to the marketplace, it's 13% more on average for any entree you order. If you go direct to Chipotle, it's the same price as it would be in the restaurant on the menu board. The beauty of that is they drive the customers to them for delivery, so it's a better economic profile, and they retain the customer information and relationship along the way.
In terms of the long term, Nicole, with this stock, what is the potential of their tech platform? I mean, should it be rolled out more aggressively in other regions, possibly more aggressively into totally different restaurant concepts?
I think the power of the tech platform is that it leverages the brand equity. So this isn't about what Chipotle was, but about what Chipotle is going to be. It's no longer an emerging concept, but a brand with mass appeal. And so the leverage is finding the customer outside of the four walls. And that's exactly what they have done. In turn, it's a very profitable customer. They generate cash, and that allows them to open more doors. So while technology is important, ultimately, I think it's about the many, many, many thousands of more stores that they will have globally.
Is that what gets it from, where are we, 1,500 or so to 2,000, your price target? What's the long-term thesis here?
That is one of the pieces. We are talking about outsized versus the industry, really strong same-store sales performance are expected to continue. But one point of differentiation we have in our base case model is more stores. This year, the pipeline's 200. If they don't quite hit 200, it's only around permitting restrictions and ground breaks that are challenging during COVID. But that pipeline is growing. And so next year, we're ahead of consensus looking for 250 store openings.
Nicole, thanks so much for joining us. Much appreciated.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.